busybodies, and they wanted to hear anything new as far as religion goes. And Paul was preaching something that to them was very interesting. Two gods, one named Iseus, Jesus, and the other one named Resurrection, who they thought was a god, but Paul was just merely preaching the resurrection from the dead, which they didn't believe in and had little concept of, despite the fact that they were tremendous intellects. Well, Paul begins to preach to these men, probably in the council on the top of the Areopagus, which is up over my shoulder, and you can see a crest with people on it. The further Areopagus that you see to the right, that one happens to be actually not the Areopagus, but that's the Acropolis with the Parthenon on top of it, so you can see how close we are. But as Paul preached, he preached about this unknown God because he saw an altar to the unknown God amidst all the other altars to all the other gods, and he was greatly distressed about all of that, but he decided to talk about that unknown God. But it wasn't a surprise to Paul, this unknown God, nor was it a surprise to them. A man 600 years before Paul spoke to these fellows, named Epimenides, had planted an altar to a god who he didn't know and nobody else did, in hopes of some deity stemming a terrible plague that was killing off the Athenians. They had made offerings and obeisance to all the other gods without success, and people continued to die. But when Epimenides put up this altar to the unknown god and made a sacrifice, miraculously, the plague stopped in its tracks. They had tremendous respect for this unknown god, but fear too, because he was very powerful. Paul comes along and he says, let me tell you about this unknown God, and he tells them about Jesus and how the Father sent Jesus and raised Jesus from the dead. He talked about repentance and the forgiveness of sins, and he told it to the faces of people who were so steeped in their idolatry or steeped in their philosophy that all they could do when they were done was scoff and turn him out. Well, this is the place, the Agora, where Paul preached in Athens. Not very successful, but people did come to Christ. And then he moved on to Corinth, where he stayed for over a year and a half. This is the Agora. This is Athens. Hope you can visit here someday.